Imagine it's the 1930s. The Great Depression has swept through America like a storm. Banks have crumbled, families have lost everything, and Wall Street, once the symbol of limitless prosperity, has become a name whispered with resentment. And in the middle of that chaos stands one man who dares to do something unthinkable: bring Wall Street to Main Street. His name was Charles Edward Merrill. And if you've ever owned a stock, checked a mutual fund, or opened a retirement account, you owe a small part of that experience to him. Merrill didn't invent the stock market. He didn't become the richest man of his time. But he did something far greater. He changed how ordinary Americans thought about money. This is the story of the man who democratized investing, built one of the world's most trusted financial institutions, and proved that integrity could thrive even in the cutthroat world of Wall Street. Charles E. Merrill was born in Green Cove Springs, Florida, on October 19, 1885. He grew up in a time when the American dream was still being written. Railroads stitched the country together, factories roared, and finance was the new frontier. His father, a physician, died when Charles was young. That loss forced him to grow up quickly, and it taught him something he never forgot: that wealth means nothing if it isn't built on security. After attending Amherst College and a short stint at Harvard Law, Merrill's restless ambition pulled him north to New York City, the beating heart of American finance. In those days, Wall Street was an exclusive club. Stockbrokers wore fine suits, spoke in code, and catered only to the rich. Ordinary Americans were seen as too naive, too emotional, too poor to be trusted with investing. Merrill looked around and saw an opportunity no one else did. In 1914, at just 29 years old, Merrill co-founded a small brokerage firm with his friend Edmund C. Lynch. They called it Merrill Lynch & Co. Their mission? To make investing understandable and accessible for everyone. At a time when most brokers saw clients as marks to be exploited, Merrill had a radical idea: treat customers like partners. He wanted to bring transparency and education to a world shrouded in jargon and deception. From the start, Merrill focused on trust. He banned his employees from churning accounts, making unnecessary trades just to earn commissions. He insisted on clear communication, sending clients honest reports and newsletters explaining what was happening in the market. And he pushed for ethics over profit, famously saying, "The public should always be served before the firm's interests." That mindset was unheard of in early 20th century finance. It would later become the foundation of modern retail investing. The 1920s were a golden decade for America and for Merrill Lynch. The market soared, and everyone wanted a piece of the action. Merrill became a millionaire and one of the most respected names in finance. But behind the glamour, he sensed danger. He saw wild speculation, margin debt, and companies with inflated earnings. It felt like the music was getting louder, too loud. In 1928, a full year before the infamous crash, Merrill did something extraordinary. He warned his clients to sell. He liquidated much of his own firm's holdings and urged others to get out of the market. People thought he'd lost his mind. But when the crash came in October 1929, Merrill's foresight saved his clients from financial ruin. It also earned him something priceless: trust. While other firms were collapsing, Merrill Lynch survived because it had built its foundation not on greed, but on caution and ethics. After the crash, America's confidence in Wall Street was shattered. Banks had failed, savings were wiped out, and millions swore they'd never invest again. Merrill saw that as a tragedy, not because of lost profits, but because of lost faith. He believed that a healthy democracy needed an informed, financially literate middle class. So during the 1930s, he started rebuilding that trust, one ordinary American at a time. He launched educational campaigns explaining how stocks and bonds worked. He pushed his employees to act as advisors, not gamblers. His firm adopted a slogan that would define its philosophy for decades: bring Wall Street to Main Street. He believed the average worker should be able to share in the country's growth, not just the rich. That idea may seem obvious today, but in the 1930s, it was revolutionary. And then came his boldest move. In 1939, Merrill merged his firm with E.A. Pierce & Co., creating what would become Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Bean, the largest brokerage in the world. But Merrill wanted more than size. He wanted transformation. He envisioned a financial supermarket, a place where clients could access every kind of service: investments, insurance, mortgages, advice, all under one roof. That concept, offering one-stop financial services, would later be copied by banks and institutions around the world. Even in the firm's advertising, Merrill's human touch was clear. He hired plain-spoken writers to craft simple explanations of complex financial concepts. He wanted ordinary people to feel invited, not intimidated. Charles E. Merrill wasn't a saint. He lived through divorces, business rivalries, and the immense pressure of running a financial empire. But he never abandoned his principles. When he retired in 1950, Merrill Lynch had become a symbol of integrity in American finance, serving millions of clients with offices across the country. The firm's Red Bull logo and slogan, "Bullish on America," captured his optimism about the nation's future. Merrill passed away in 1956, but his ideas shaped everything that followed: the rise of mutual funds, retirement accounts, and modern financial literacy. He turned investing from a secretive elite game into a cornerstone of middle-class life. Charles Merrill's story isn't just about money. It's about trust. He believed finance could be both profitable and principled, that ethics and success weren't opposites. They were partners. In a world where financial scandals and greed often dominate headlines, Merrill's legacy reminds us of something simple. People don't just invest in companies, they invest in people. And maybe that's why nearly a century later, his vision still echoes through every financial app, every brokerage account, and every dream of financial independence. Because once upon a time, one man decided that Wall Street should belong to everyone. And his name was Charles Edward Merrill, the man who made America bullish on the future.